Well, hello, friends. Thank you for joining me. Yesterday, we talked about how Samson received his power. It was not through going to the gym and weightlifting and running, and it was through the Spirit of God. Now, today I want to look at in our reading in Judges chapter 15 to 17, we find how Samson lost his power. Now, in Numbers chapter 6, we see where a person could take a Nazirite vow. And this was a commitment to God. They were to be separate from the world in certain areas, and they were committed to God. Now, Samson's life was under this Nazirite vow, but he broke the vow. In fact, part of the vow was that he would not cut his hair. And he was tempted by this woman, Delilah. And we find in verse number 17, it says that his hair was shaved off. And he said, if you shave my hair off, I will become like other people. And so here was a movement towards breaking this vow. If you touch my hair, I'm going to be just like everybody else. Well, of course, in chapter number 16, verse number 20, I just want to read what happened. It says here, she said, the Philistines are upon you, Samson. And he awoke from his sleep and said, I will go out after them as at other times and shake myself. So he thought that everything was normal, but he did not know that the Lord had left him. The Spirit of the Lord had left him when he had his hair shaved. But in verse number 22 of chapter 16, it says his hair began to grow again. And in verse number 28, it says here, and I like this because we talked a few days ago about the end of life and how important it is to end well. Well, we see in verse 28, Samson called to the Lord and said, "Oh Lord God, please remember me and please strengthen me only this once." And we know the story, how there were more people that were killed, more of the Philistines that were defeated at his death than throughout his entire life. So what do we see? We see that it's important to keep the vow towards God, keep the Spirit of God in our lives. When the Spirit leaves us, when God leaves us, then we're susceptible to have our eyes put out to what our spiritual eyes and so on. But we're going to be defeated if the Spirit of God leaves us. So we've got to keep the Spirit of God in our lives. But if you stray from God, I want to say you can call on him and he will be there. He will come back just like with Samson. He called on the Lord and God gave him that strength again to defeat his enemies. So, friends, I don't know what position you're in now, but you can call on God if you've strayed in the past. And you can call on him and he'll be there. God bless you. We'll see you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.